I mean, should we intro it the way we always did, or should we new intro it?
Too profesh.
You think it's too like we think we're NPR hosts? Well, that's how you say it, right? Like I had I had a cadence, Yeah. Welcome to the Feminine Mistake Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole. And
great.
what was I trying to do? I don't know what I was trying to do there,
NPR,
but it felt like
total Ira Glass.
But this was never a highfalutin
It was not.
show. We were doing
remember,
fart jokes
before we
galore.
we weren't My Favorite Murder had not come out yet.
That's
when
true.
We started our podcast.
Yeah, but that's not I will listen to lots of different podcasts. Like,
that's true.
I think I just thought that's how you had to intro a show.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of shows that have like a fancy intro. Like they'll have some British voiceovers like, welcome to the Feminine Mistake Pod. Like that's not a British accent, but you know what I'm saying. Welcome to them, and you're with your hosts, and there's like theme music, and
Nicole,
we're just not
Sarah.
Okay, now that has to be the theme music. But I want people to be comfortable. I want them to know that this is the same
Relax into it.
show.
Just yeah.
So welcome to the Feminine Mistake Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I'm your other host, Sarah.
Why do I say that so apologetically? Your ears are not confused. This is a new episode of the Feminine Mistake Podcast.
Yes.
Where Sarah and I are still trying we're like playing around with the format a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're debating publicly, apparently, about whether or not we should keep the old intro, which it seems like we've decided to ditch.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this show right now, which you obviously are because you're hearing my voice, we're so fucking excited to be making new episodes of the Feminine Mistake Podcast. I have missed doing the show. Sarah and I, in the meantime, have been on another show that we've been doing called the Georgia Made Podcast.
Super fun. You should check it out.
Yeah. Now would be a good time because we are making new episodes of the show. The first of which will be out in February 2020. But in the meantime, you have lots of time to go back and listen to the Georgia Made Podcast.
The whole first season.
The whole fucking thing. It was kind of fun to do a different show for a little while because we were like, we can do whatever we want. Like, we don't have to adhere to any kind of format or segments or anything that we've done in the past. I numbered the episodes normally. What was I doing?
1.2.3.
What the fuck was I doing? I remember Hillary would get she would be like, why do we have to number these things this way? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like I started doing it and I feel like now I can't stop. So I promise
reset.
I'm gonna reset. We're gonna have normal episode numbers. But beyond that, we just we played around with the format a little bit, and in the Georgia Made Podcast we had a much more casual intro, and I think we're gonna adopt that. We also, as you may recall, on Lady Bits, we used to have that used to be our
Lady Bits.
That was our things that were cut from the show at one time. That was what Lady Bits was, and then it became us just talking about some topic we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I think rather than doing that, again, in the Georgia Made Podcast, before we would get into the topic, we would just kind of shoot the shit for a little while and talk about what a new show we were watching, or if we had worked on a film set, we would share our experience about that, or if we had been to some kind of local event or something. I think we're gonna incorporate a little bit of that as well. So we are we're gonna be doing films. We're gonna be looking at how the women are portrayed in those films.
Yep.
We are going to be, I think, trying to hopefully focus on some female directors.
Yes.
And we're going to share our experiences as women in this industry. Hustling the shit out of this industry, trying to make stuff.
Totally.
And we're really excited to be here.
So excited.
We're going to have some guests. You'll notice it's just me and Sarah at the moment. Going forward, Hillary is doing amazing, by the way. She
doing amazing, killing it,
fucking killing it,
comic.
killing it with the stand up. You should check her out. If you want to follow up with what Hillary's up to, you can find her at Hillary R. Heath on Twitter and Instagram and find out all the cool fucking stand up shows she's doing. And so I just wanted to mention that.
Yes, Hillary is doing just fine. She is.
we didn't murder her. We did not murder her. She's but she's doing.
Well.
She's alive and well.
And her own show at Baker Dude.
She's super
monthly.
busy.
Yeah.
She's super busy, and she's doing some other things, and they're amazing, and you should check them out. So, Sarah and I are going to be your hosts going forward, and I hope you like us because I need your approval. I need your approval. But we will be having some guests on the show as we had before. So. But we wanted to just pop in and say hi and that we're excited to be doing the show again. And also we figured now let's talk about some films that we're hoping to do on the show in 2020.
Yeah.
Now, as you guys who are familiar with our show know, we are chronically saying that we will do a film and not doing it and doing something else instead. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
But Sarah,
expect nothing less.
Expect nothing less than chaos.
Exactly.
But we wanted to get together and talk about, each of us has brought in 5 films that we would like to do on the show in 2020. And neither of us have discussed this prior
to
right now.
Fern Gully. Just Fern Gully.
Sarah's whole list
is like a tongue twister.
That is that's a good warm up for an actor, Fern Gully. It's all Fern Gully. That's all we're doing in 2020. We're changing the show to the Fern Gully.
And then Avatar.
The Fern Gully. Fuck no. You cannot pay me enough to watch that movie again. We're going to change the name of the podcast to the Fern Gully Mistake Podcast. I hope you guys are okay with that. We said there'd be some format changes. Accept it. Okay. I don't know what Sarah's brought in.
Let's just go back and forth, I guess?
Yeah, let's go back and forth. Why don't you start?
Okay, cool.
What is on your list? 5 things. 5 movies.
Well,
5 movies you'd like to do.
The first one is one that I suggested for the past 3 seasons, Gaslight.
Yes, that was supposed to... Okay, so Gaslight was supposed to be...
offered for season 1.
It was so offered. It was so on the table for season 1 that it was actually on our website as one of the films in the header of things that we were doing on the show.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it.
It's a 1940...
1942?
43? Something like that. Drama, horror, thriller. I don't know what it is.
Is it like a film noir?
Psychodrama.
Okay.
Drama. Yeah. So it's basically where the term gaslight comes from,
and
it's a man who makes his wife believe that she is losing her mind in order for him to manipulate her, and in order to make her believe she's losing her mind, he does things to her health, the house, the lights.
Oh, God.
That's why it's called...
This sounds so upsetting.
Gaslight. It is upsetting, but it also is like a movie and it's supposed to be like entertainment.
Okay.
It's not... I mean, you should definitely see it just for like... for part of like pop culture, like a know your meme type thing.
Well, it seems like...
know where the term gaslight came from.
I'm just gonna need a hug afterwards is what I'm saying. I think
it's
probably.
And it has what's her face, she played Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast.
Angela Lansbury
as a
Murder She Wrote's Angela Lansbury
as a young woman in her 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Can I go?
Yes,
I go next?
Please go.
Yeah, I definitely think that's an excellent suggestion, and one in fact that is long overdue. Okay. First on my list is a film that I had 100% forgot about until it popped up like on a BuzzFeed list of weird ass movies, and it's Making Mr. Right.
Is this the one you showed me?
This is the trailer I sent you.
Oh my God, we have to do this.
It's a movie. John Malkovich plays a scientist who makes a robot, John Malkovich. And I don't remember the actress's name right now, so forgive me, guys. But she has like red hair, and she's really short, and she's like this chic, like reporter lady, and she's like a single gal, and she's got like so it's a 1980s film, and it's like single gal who's like doesn't need a man, who's like dresses like in fabulous clothes, and she's doing this like this news piece, this article on the scientist, and she teaches the robot about love, the robot John Malkovich. If you're asking yourself, is there robot sex? Yes.
Oh God.
There is.
Okay. This was before.
It's so weird. Why did I watch this movie when I was a kid?
You watched it when you were a kid? I thought you just saw the
I had HBO. We had HBO, not for my whole childhood, but for like part of my childhood. And I saw all kinds of things that shouldn't be seen by children's eyes. And Making Mr. Right was one of them.
Okay.
Also, it may have been like edited for TV and like aired on USA or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So Making Mr. Right, that's on my list.
Good choice.
Yep.
Next for me, this may seem like a weird choice, but for Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
And why it popped into my head is because of the character of Jenny.
Yes, I think.
And she's a very complicated character, but how she's portrayed, I think, is something that could be discussed.
Yeah, I think that should be up for discussion.
I don't know. It might be too like Forrest centered, but I just
it
popped into my head because she's
really important.
She's a really important character,
and I think that movie punishes her a lot for her choices. Yeah, I love that. That's a great suggestion.
Okay, cool.
Okay, next on my list is Hustlers.
Oh, that was almost on my list, but yeah.
Which is directed by a woman.
Was it this year?
It came out this year. It stars Jennifer Lopez, Cardi B, is Constance Wu? I think Constance Wu's in it. Lizzo is in it. Anyway, so it is and it's based on it's not like a true story, but it's like inspired by a true story that was like I think it was an NPR story maybe, that was about a group of strippers who during the Wall Street, the height of the Wall Street, mess where like people are losing their fucking homes and stuff, they decide to drug and deceive rich Wall Street types that came into the club and steal their money to get back at them and to, improve their situation.
Interesting.
And it sounds really interesting. And I'm really interested I've heard a lot of interviews with the director, and I'm like really intrigued. So I want to check it out.
Sounds good. Yeah. Is it out in theaters now, or had
it
already come out? Oh, it's out now?
Yeah.
Next for me, Charlie's Angels came out this year.
Yes. I actually had wanted to do that one too. I'm so glad that you brought that up because Charlie's Angels is like one of those shows like where it's like, oh, great. It's like women and they're kicking ass, but also they have to be like hot and pretty.
Angels.
Yeah.
They're not their own angels. They're Charlie's.
But it also seems like maybe it's evolved a little bit over time. It seems like the cast in this film is like perhaps a little more like not just white ladies.
Yeah. And if we did
I
this,
guess
I would
Lucy
like
Liu.
to watch one episode from the old show and maybe like the one with Lucy Liu and like maybe compare or something like that.
Actually, that's a great idea. No, I think that's an excellent idea. I'm into it.
Cool. That's for you.
Let's see. Which one should I say next? Ooh. This is one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to go back to doing the show. I saw this movie earlier this year, and I had a certain perception of what it was going to be about when it came out. It came out 10 years ago. It's actually been out for like 10 years now.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
And I didn't see it when it came out because the marketing had made me think it was like a certain kind of movie. And when I watched it, I was like, this is a feminist, amazing fucking movie. And I loved it, and I was actually just super angry that I had gone like 10 years without seeing. And that movie is Jennifer's Body, directed by Kieran Kusama and written by Diablo Cody. So I fucking love this movie. and I want to talk about it. And I made Sarah watch it.
It was I loved it too.
It's so good.
It was really good.
And I feel like there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be a great Halloween flick for next year.
For sure. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Next for me, Clueless.
Clueless, man,
which I had forgotten about that, but like we hadn't done that. It's
God.
such a like
we never even talked about it.
Talked about it, yeah.
That's a great idea. I remember going to see that. I saw that with my besties in high school in the 90s.
In high school, oh my gosh, I was a little kid.
I know, I'm so fucking old, you guys. Did I mention I'm old? By the time you hear this podcast, I'll have just turned 40. I can't tell if that was celebratory or not.
Yes. I mean, you're closer to death, which is sad.
I know,
but
you're worried about my mortality.
I am, because I don't want you to go anywhere.
I hope I still have some good years left in me, Sarah.
A lot of good years, maybe like 60 more years.
60, sure, why not? I feel like I could live to 100. Especially now that I've gone vegan. I might live to 1,000.
Yeah,
you don't know.
I mean, you could live to 126.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great suggestion. I love it.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. I didn't write mine down, so I'm like going through my mental Rolodex. Let's see. Oh, I would like to do a film called Brittany Runs a Marathon.
I haven't heard of that.
So I've been really shitty at keeping up with my running, but like in between my second and third child, I actually got really into running, and it was like it was like something I started to do to like kind of like get my body back, like after I had the babies or whatever. But what ended up happening is like I started to feel like an athlete. I was like, oh, I'm like, I can do things that I didn't think I could do. Like the first time I ran for a mile without stopping, I was like, oh my God, like I did not know that I could do this. And then at one point I ran the Peachtree, and like it was awesome. And it like gave me this feeling like I could do anything. Like if I can do that, like I can. This was like 5 years ago. I was doing the Motherload at the time. It was like, I can do this. Like I can write a web series. I can direct it. I can act in it. I can get other people together on board this project to make it happen. And like, it was a really special time for me. And I've tried to get back into running after my third, and it's gotten iffy. I've had like, I think it's my body's, I'm a little older. I weigh a little bit more. And I've been having some foot pain. So like when I run, so it's a little harder. It's been a little harder to get going, but I did run a couple races this year. Anyway, Brittany Runs a Marathon is about a woman in her 20s who is like, I get the sense that it's like goes to the doctor, and the doctor's basically, you're not taking care of your body. So it's not even so much about like, you got to get thin, girl. It's more like, you're not healthy. Like you eat like shit and you party all night and go out to clubs, and you need to take care of yourself. And so she decides to start running so that she can train for the New York City Marathon. And I imagine what she discovers is the true power within herself. Anyway, it's an indie film. It's got an actress in it that I absolutely love, who is getting a starring role and is usually like a best friend character on other films. And I just like would really like to check it out. And I want to talk about like those things, like women's relationship to exercise and their body, and like how that can turn toxic or it can be really empowering. And I'm really interested to see how the film tackles it.
Cool. That does sound good.
Yeah.
While you were talking, I also thought of two more that I wanted.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I mean, I was listening.
No,
but I also like, they just like,
that's okay.
My head.
Yeah.
But the last one that I came up with was Bring It On.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh my God. It's like the most, I watched so much when I was in high school, but it's like a really fun cheer movie, and it's like ridiculous.
Okay.
And it has Kirsten Dunst and more, but it's mostly about her. But I think you'd think it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's absurd and it's sexist and stuff, but like that's the whole point, right?
Okay. Well, then let's tackle it.
Yeah.
All right. The last film on my list. It's not a film. It's actually a TV show. So this would require a little bit more work. They recently did a reboot of Mr. Mom.
Wait, is it a TV show?
It's like a TV show, but on like a streaming platform. Okay. So we'd have to like find it on whatever streaming platform it's on. But it's got like I didn't write anything down, obviously, because I'm like a really good podcaster. But it stars some actors that you would know. And I really like the actor playing the dad character. And what I'm pitching to you is I'd like to do like, I don't know if we would do the whole season because that's like a lot of shows. I mean, we've certainly done that in the past. Like over on the Georgia May podcast, we did all of The Haunting of Hill House and we did all of Stranger Things. Yeah. So I think we're capable of it, but I would love to do Mr. Mom and like maybe have Andy Fleming back, our guest from
Andy,
Mr. Because we did Mr. Mom in season 1 of this show.
With him, yeah.
With
and
Andy.
It was a wonderful experience.
It was a hoot. And I would love to have him back to do Mr. Mom. Oh my God. Pampers, the Kotex box.
Yes.
I will never forget that Kotex box, the giant Kotex box. Okay, so that's the last one on my list.
Can I just real quick say the two that popped into my head?
Of course. I actually had a couple of other things I wanted to add.
Cool. I didn't write it down. I don't know why I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah.
But Freaky Friday.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah,
mom
for sure.
And daughter switch places. Also,
there's also one called like Father Like Son with Kirk Cameron and Judge Reinhold.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly the same. It'd be fun to do that because I bet it's like a lot about like manhood and stuff too, which is kind of fun to tackle on this show. Like how manhood is portrayed. Sometimes we like to talk about that as well.
And the other one is Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Those two girls who play Saw.
Yeah.
I only saw it once, but I remember it was like it probably has some issues that I forget about. So
yeah, that would be really good.
It was made a long time ago.
I think it would be really fun to talk about Thelma and Louise on this show. We've talked about it. We've never
I've never seen that before in my life.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I would love to talk about Thelma and Louise. Even I would still like us like last season on this season on the Georgia May podcast, which is the other podcast that we were doing in our time away from you. Please go check it out if you haven't heard it. We did Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to do Stranger Things on this show. I think that would be fun because I fucking love it.
Like the old seasons, or
no,
the
just
next
this
one.
No, the season 4.
You mean rediscuss it?
No. Season 3 is the one we talked about on the Georgia Made. I'd like to do the new season.
For some reason, I thought there had been 4 seasons
because I really enjoyed talking about that show, and I think there's a lot to dig into with like how women, like I think there is a lot to dig into about how women are and girlhood is portrayed.
Hopefully
on that show.
They'll have addressed all their issues by the time season 4 comes out.
You know, between 2 and 3 they made some progress. And I think I was pretty happy generally with the female characters on the show in season 3, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
There's so many good films to discuss out there.
Oh my God, so many.
So many.
If you've got a suggestion, let us know. Like tweet us, comment under this post on Instagram.
Text Nicole, her number is
just
kidding.
I'm just kidding. 555. Yeah, let us know. Like, what do you think would be a good? What would you like to see us do? The sky is the limit, you guys. Anything at all. So rate, review, subscribe to I'm not going to ask you to rate it because we have this one episode that just came out. So like maybe rate
this one.
Rate
Excellent.
previous episodes.
5 stars.
Give us a review for future episodes that are going to come out that you know are going to be good or whatever. No, please subscribe to this podcast. We've got new episodes coming out starting February 2020. And of course, you can find us on social media at Feminine Mistake Pod on Facebook and Instagram, and we're on Twitter at FemMistakePod.
Woo! So
I know I missed you guys. I missed you guys. Just want you to know that I've been thinking about you while I've been on my other podcast.
Yes, we
never stop thinking about you.
We will always love you.
Cue the music.
And